What is up, YouTube? It's Jeremy here, and today I'm heading out on a solo backpacking trip to the Red River Gorge in Kentucky. So that's really exciting. Haven't gone solo camping in a little while. I think it's supposed to get down to about the low 30s tonight, nothing too crazy. But the exciting thing is that it's supposed to start snowing overnight and into the morning and all day tomorrow. And I never got to experience snow on the trail before, at least having the snow coming down when I was out there. So that's really exciting. So I figured what better time to do my first backpacking video than first trip in 2019, solo trip, got some snow coming down. So it should go pretty well, I'm excited. And yeah, man, people are driving like freaking maniacs today. I don't know if it's the weekend or what. This Hummer you can probably see behind me has been stressing me out, riding right in my butt. They're actually kind of far back right now. They've been back there for like 15 minutes judging me with their car. Maybe someone told them I was going to the gorge and they're trying to beat me to the campsites out there. This fruit snack just crunched. That's not what you want. Well, just get it together. Coming up on the Mountain Parkway. It's probably about the main way most people are going to get to the Red River Gorge if you've never been. Alright, we're coming up on Slade, Kentucky here in a few miles. And I was just thinking this is going to be my, I don't even know, 5th or 6th time at the gorge in the last year or so. But there's so many great places out there and a lot of places I'd like to go. But when it's only barely an hour away from where you live, right there in your backyard, I mean, like, what's the harm? You might as well. It's such an amazing area. There's still a lot of places I've never been before, and a lot of places I love to go. But, you know, it's right in your backyard, and sometimes it's all you got time for, so why not? I mean, it's better that than to not be in the woods at all. All right, here we are. We're coming up on Slade, the Slade, Kentucky exit. It's exit 33 on the Mountain Parkway. And most of the stuff in the gorge is actually off to the right. Well, not most, but a lot of the stuff. And we're actually going to hang a left here. This stop sign. Looks good. Screwed that shot up. Yeah, we're coming up here on this Shell station, and we're going to hang a right. I think. I haven't been here for a while, but I'm pretty sure it's a right. Looks good. Yeah. Go past Subway. I'm gonna follow this for a few miles. One thing I didn't think to check was, and I probably should have, was to see if the trail route I'm planning on following is even open right now. Sometimes you come out here and then your trail is closed and it sucks. Some icicles hanging off the cliffs, that's always a good sign. I love this area because even in the dead of winter, when all the leaves are gone on the trees, it's still just so beautiful out here. For those of you watching, I am watching the road. I'm just kind of moving the phone around, not paying attention to that. Still probably not fully safe, but hey, we're doing alright. Look at these icicles. That's so cool. Should be coming up in the turn. Uh-oh, this is not a good sign. Is the road closed? Ah! The road to the trailhead is closed. That's not what you want. Oh geez, we're going to have to take a look at the map, and I may be going to a different spot. Dang it! Well, I have officially screwed up badly, as the road that goes to my trailhead is blocked off. So we're going to have to look and see. I don't remember exactly how far down the road it is to where my trailhead's at. We may be walking, or we may be doing something else here. I don't really want to leave my car on the side of the road like this. This is where we are right now. Yeah, so Google Maps, you can see, is saying a 15-minute walk from here. Looks like we pretty much just crossed the bridge over here of the Mountain Parkway and get on this gravel road a little ways. Hopefully we'll get there. Let's go for it. Alright, so it looks like it's only going to be about a 15-minute walk to the trailhead from here. So I'm going to go ahead and go for this. I thought about either bailing or trying to find a different trail. Problem is, I only have a few hours left of daylight, and it's kind of late in the game to be trying to figure out a backup plan. And a lot of the trails that I know of, that I know are good, are down this trail, or down this road. The trailheads are down this road, I mean. So it's kind of go for it or don't go for it. I just hope I can park my car here, so it should be alright. Hopefully. Alright, let's go. Alright, so I'm crossing this bridge now. Usually you just pull in and go across and the trailhead's down this way. But this is kind of cool, I guess. Just gonna walk over the Mountain Parkway. Pretty neat. Goodbye, truck. Should have parked over here. Yeah, looks like I can just go right around this. And here we are. It's supposed to be about 15 minutes to the trailhead from here, so that's good. Always store your food. Don't want Mr. Bear coming up and taking your stuff. We don't have any fireworks to do tonight, unfortunately, either, as fun as that would be. Keep on moving on. So one of the things I'm already experiencing, it is a struggle about winter camping, is that it's too cold to just hike in a t-shirt or something. But with this down jacket on and a heavy pack, and I'm moving pretty good right now, I'm already getting like really hot. So it's like I'm either hot or cold. I want to be in the middle somewhere. I have a thermal shirt that I brought for later to sleep in tonight, but I didn't want to get it all sweaty and then it'd be like wet and cold at the same time. Not a good combination. Nonetheless, should be coming up on this trailhead pretty soon. Been hiking down this gravel road for about 10 minutes maybe. So it looks like, hopefully you can see this, looks like we're getting pretty close. This is where we started, right there, and then kind of worked my way up to here. Yep, that's cool, the thing moving. So it looks like we're getting pretty close. Not too bad at all. And here we are. We're going to be on the Pinch'em Tight Trail. It's a nice name for a trail. We're just getting started about a little bit later, extra 3/4 of a mile or so, half mile, I don't know. So yeah, let's get on this Pinch'em Tight Trail and start pinching them. Alright, so after a little bit of a twist beginning, we are officially on the trail now. Once again, this is, I already almost slipped 10 feet onto the trail. And I guess now will probably be a good time to go over the plan for tonight. The plan is to go out to a place called Hansons Point. Really cool place in the gorge. Fairly popular considering that it's not actually on an official trail. It's kind of off the beaten path a little bit. But again, it's really popular. So you can kind of easily get out there, and I've been out there many times and have the GPS stuff set in, so shouldn't have any issues. There was a lot of cars parked up at the parking lot back there, or side of the road, I guess, not really a parking lot. Not really sure who's just hiking and who's who's camping. I think I saw one car that had like the parking pass. So either way, maybe we'll be with some people tonight, maybe not. But there's plenty of places to camp if the spot that I'm hoping to get to is taken. One other thing to mention is that all the filming for this trip is going to be done just on my phone, iPhone X, and then just a good old GoPro. What is this thing, a 3 Plus silver, I think? It's kind of old. Shoots pretty good, 1080 though still, so not bad. Was going to bring my DJI Spark with me. I've heard mixed things about drone usage around here. I've had one or two people say you're not supposed to. I've looked all over the internet and haven't been able to find anything about it, so I'm not really sure. I've also seen a bunch of videos that people have flown out here. I've even done it one at a time. Wasn't really planning on doing anything too crazy with it. Mainly just kind of putting a few feet out in front of me, getting kind of some other hikers way over there though. Yeah, I was just kind of planning on bringing it out here and kind of having like a moving tripod kind of thing going on, just for some cool shots. I wasn't gonna fly it a mile away out over the valley or whatever, because I don't want to, mess with stuff I'm not supposed to have it. But so something goofy about this trail is that we just got to the trailhead and now we're already back at the road again. Here's the trail, road, and I actually knew this. We could have stayed on the road and just kept walking, but I figured, why not? Maybe tomorrow hiking out, I'll just go down the road back to the car, especially if we're having all this snow supposed to be having. Right down there, I believe, is the Gray's Arch Trail. The plan was to actually start there and then go down through Gray's Arch and meet up with this trail on the Rough Trail, which is the accurately named trail of the gorge. But to go around, go past Gray's Arch, and then get up to where I'm camping tonight later on. But then I got a late start. Traffic in Lexington sucked. He had this little debacle with the road being closed. So I'm just going to go out and back tonight. Nothing too crazy. I want to say it's about 3 miles each way, which isn't a ton, but just considering the late start I'm kind of getting, and it's winter, so we only got about, 2 hours of broad daylight left, and maybe another 30 minutes after that. Coming up on our first junction here is the Rush Ridge Trail. Not really sure what's down there. I don't know if I've ever been that way before. Looks like it intersects with the Rough Trail, just 221, I think. This is where we're headed. Got some new signs out here. Look really good. Props to the National Forest people, whoever made these. Look really nice. So yeah, down Pincham Tie we go. Keep seeing all these spots where the trail is just like destroyed like this, and it's pretty sure it's from the horses that come through here. And I don't know, it's not that I don't think horses should be allowed out here, that I don't like horses or anything. Neither of those things are true. I've ridden horses on trails before, it's awesome, but they are so, whoops, not good at this, they're so terrible for these trails. You just beat the crap out of them. I don't even really know what you could do about it to stop it. It's frustrating. Not too bad so far, but I've been on some trails before that have just been destroyed by horses. Kind of coming up on first little bit of decline here. This will be fun coming up in the morning when it's covered in snow, if that happens, of course. Pardon my sniffling, I'm kind of in the final stretch. I have a cold I was kind of fighting the last week or so. Still a little sniffly, but it's all good.
Coming up on a cool little spot here right off the trail. Get up here and show you. It's a little bit of a drop off here. I'm going to be really careful. Yeah, see? Pretty neat. A couple of years ago, my uncle took us out here and we hooked onto this tree and did some rappelling off the ledge here down there. It's really neat. You can rappel down and then kind of hit the ground and then just kind of, it's not really steep, just up the hill over there and back around. Really cool little spot if you're kind of a beginner rappeller. You can even climb this too, I would say. Also, shout out to Eric Cox for showing us this cool spot. Not just this little place here, but also the trail I'm on right now is where I am heading out to tonight, if I can get out there. Never would have known about it if it wasn't for Eric Cox, so shout out to you, and keep it extreme. One thing I'm kind of realizing about doing this is that dealing with the camera and like holding onto it instead of a hiking pole and setting it up and doubling back to pick it up and stuff, it's not nearly as bad as I thought it would be. So that's not too bad. Not terribly annoying. I would be doing it some more, but I'm kind of running out of daylight, so I'm trying to make some pretty good time here. I may have to just hit a stretch where I put the camera away and don't do any more filming until I get closer to camp. But this is the first time in a while I've solo hiked. I guess camped. I've solo hike all the time, but first time while I was solo camped, and I don't know, this may be my fourth or fifth time solo camping, and it's not terribly scary. Last time was back in the summer. I did get a little freaked out, I'll admit, but for several reasons. The first was I was dealing with some kind of weird stomach bug or something, and just having some weird pains, kind of my abdomen area. I was worried I was on the verge of like my appendix bursting or something, but thank God that didn't happen, especially on the trail. So I was worried about that. It was hot as freaking crap, and also I was in my hammock. I was sleeping in a hammock for that trip, and hammocks are great and all, but I don't sleep the best in them. Just have trouble getting comfortable in them. Here's another little junction. We are still continuing down this way. That is the Buck Trail in Coomer Ridge. I've never been down there before. I've heard of it. Anyway, so it's kind of an anxiety-filled night already. I was a little freaked out, and then I woke up in the middle of the night and heard what sounded like this big animal, and of course it sounded 100 times bigger than it probably was, but it was very close, and it was, you know, bigger and kind of doing this like huffing, this like puffing, like grunting, almost growling kind of sound. But I kind of yelled and clapped, and it took off, and I was freaked out the rest of the night and couldn't get any sleep, and that trip ended up being kind of terrible anyway. So yeah, what I was getting at a minute ago is that carrying this little camera around, like, and talking to it while I'm hiking, as goofy as this sounds, it helps it. It's a lot less lonely, even though I'm talking to a little box that has a battery in it on a stick. But yeah, kind of feels like I'm out here with all of you guys watching, even though you're sitting at home, probably in the warmth of your couch or bed or computer, phone, whatever. Technology, right? As previously stated, probably gonna tuck the camera away here for a little bit, pick up the pace some. It's a little after 3, and we are slowly getting to where that sun's gonna be going down here pretty soon, and I'm only a little over halfway out to my spot I'm hoping to get to tonight, so unless I pass something cool, that was kind of cool, stand by. Alright, came upon another little junction here along the trail. Came from up there, and we're going to be going this way. Now I do know if you go down this way a little ways, not very far actually, you can actually kind of see it up on that little ridge up there. There's a really cool campsite. Still a good mile or so from where we're headed, so I'm not going to stay there. I'm going to keep on going on, but take a look at the map here. We, let's see, So we started here. There's that mountain parkway. Come along through here. And here we are at this junction here. It says we've gone 2.5 miles. So, yeah. See the arrow? It's kind of jumbling around, but I know that's the right way. You can see. So right here, and we're trying to get to up here. So making decent time. Not terrible. I suppose we keep on keeping on. So I'm pretty sure, set my poles down real quick, and so I'm pretty sure if you look through those trees, you can see a rock, and there's kind of some thicket up on top of there. And pretty much out that way is where we're headed, because we're going to keep going down this for a little ways, and then we break off onto that unmarked trail I was talking about. And it goes through some thick trees and goes out that way, I think. I'm pretty sure that's where we're headed. But I've been wrong before. Alright, so I've come upon the spot where we're breaking off the main trail here. Now if I would have gone to Gray's Arch, I would have come up right through here. But we're going to head out this way and down this trail, which is going to take us out to the ridge. I'm planning to camp today. Alright, so working my way through this section of thicket here. This is what it looks like. We're going the right way. So if you're trying to get out here, and you get to a path that looks like this, you can't really call this a trail, it's like a path. Have no fear, this is correct. It's just, like I said, this isn't an official trail, so it's not really like kept up with at all. So I want to say it's about a mile of this before we get to the spot where we're headed to. All right, so we reached the first little break, kind of here in the thicket. There's a couple campsites. Gonna still continue on, but it's a really cool spot. You could have 30 people camping up here probably. So people would burn stuff. Really cool spot, but still a little ways from where we're headed. I think there's maybe 3 stretches of that thick stuff, and like every section has a big open area like this in between with a bunch of campsites. So if there doesn't end up being people up here where I'm headed, I'll be heading back this way. Another thing is it is easy to get switched around up here, head down the wrong trail. So I'll be uploading the GPX data that you could use on your trail GPS if you're into that kind of stuff, just so you can continue to get through this stretch and find the right way through. Because like I said, I mean, you could go any direction up here. I do believe we're going that way though. So you kind of peek through the trees over there and see a little bit of a preview of the view we're in for here in a little bit. So moving on. Back in the thick stuff again. If this snow does come tonight, this is going to be really cool to walk through in the morning. Other than the snow falling on my head every time I touch these branches and shake them around. But it should look pretty cool. We'll see. And I come upon like a break in the thick stuff. Really kind of slowed down the filming for a little bit because I want to make sure I get out there and have plenty of time to check out the view and get camp set up, get firewood and stuff. But yeah, some cool spots over here and over that way. A little more secluded. There's a big area out over there. Really cool. You could have a ton of people out here camping and climbing out in the ridges and stuff. Really neat. I think I got one more stretch because I feel like I could be wrong, but I feel like there's one more spot where there's like a big open camping area like this before I get to where I'm headed. I think. It's been almost a year since I've been out here. So like I said, this spot is really easy to get switched around. I actually started to go that way. That's where I was sitting a minute ago. And over here is that big spot I showed you. It's actually this way. I went about 10 feet in and found another campsite. And I was like, oh, and there wasn't any other trail out there. Check the GPS. And it's actually this way. And somewhere over here, there's a break in the bushwhacking to where you can walk through again. Over this way, kind of see a little bit more of a preview of what we're about to be up by. It gets better, trust me. All right, we've officially reached our destination. This campsite's every bit as awesome as I can remember. Got a cool firing here. Probably throw the tent up over there. First time we came here, we were in hammocks over this way. Really cool spot. And the money view is just on that little hill. I'm gonna get the pack off and take a little break here and maybe set up camp and go down there first, or maybe get down there first, come back. We'll see. But yeah, we're here. It is hard to describe the feeling of getting your pack off and walking around, even after just hiking like 3 or so miles with very little incline or decline or whatever. It feels so good. So unfortunately, somewhere on the trail, I lost one of the legs on my tripod here. That's unfortunate, but trying to decide. I may go back 100 yards or so, and if I don't find it, maybe I'll see it on the way out of here in the morning. I don't think it's supposed to snow that much, so I'll be looking for it. Not terribly worried. It's made out of like rubber and plastic, so I don't think the snow is going to damage it at all, so no harm done. All right, so I got camp all set up after a little bit of change of plans. I was originally going to put the tent like right here. It wasn't perfectly level and I had some trouble getting the stakes in the ground. So instead we're over here. Don't have the rain fly on yet, just because I still got stuff to put in and out there, and it's not raining, so there's not really a point to put it on. I'll definitely put that on before too long. I guess now that the majority of that's over with, I'm gonna head on down to the ridge and check out the view before it gets too dark, because the sun is setting pretty soon here. Was gonna eat dinner down there, but I'm not really hungry yet. And I got a pretty big meal to cook and eat. And I want to get down there and get the gist of the view before the sun goes down. So let's do that, and we'll come back, get a fire going, maybe talk about some gear, and start thinking about dinner. So we're heading down, I don't know if you would camp, heading down this steep little drop. It's going to suck coming back up, but be worth it. There's a little bit of a drop down to the view up here. One thing I forgot to mention is, other than back there on the gravel road coming out here, didn't see a single person out here on the trail, which is cool because I have it all to myself tonight. Would have been cool either way. Usually the people you meet out here are pretty awesome and not really worried about any creepers or anything. But I was kind of surprised considering the amount of cars that were at the trailhead. I think I got that on the video. Started to give a little preview of what I'm walking down here to, but instead I think I'm going to wait, have like a bigger view. It's going to be pretty amazing. But yeah, so nobody else out here. I got the campsite I wanted. Good stuff. In case you're wondering what this thing is, this is my Thermarest Z seat. Quite possibly one of my favorite camping items. This is all there is to it. Just this little thing. I don't know what it weighs. It's non-existent basically, but it's just a thing you can pop down on the ground and sit and keep your butt dry. And also warm. It's got like heat reflective stuff in it. I'm not going to tell you the science of how it works because you don't care and I don't really know, but I will say the temperature is definitely starting to drop for sure. One little tip about winter camping and backpacking, hiking, whatever, that I've learned is that if you're not hiking in your coat, your down jacket or whatever, put that on as soon as you get to camp, because then your body is still warm and you trap all that heat still from your body heat. Don't have to warm back up. And I went ahead and kept this thing on the whole hike out here. But cool, here's another cool little spot. I could have set the tent up, but don't really want to have a fire out here. I could have right there, but I figured I shouldn't really do that. I don't know. Feels like I shouldn't have a fire here. I guess because we're close to the ridge and that's a big rule, so don't break the rules. Alright, we're getting out to the view here. It's going to be pretty spectacular. We made it. Welcome to Hansons Point. Pretty incredible. I've always wanted to come out here like in the peak of fall. The first time I came out here was kind of there. I think it was a little bit early for the real true colors to be kind of coming out. But pretty incredible. Incredible view. It's kind of wild. You can see, you can probably see it. Down there, there's a road. There's a little parking lot. And I think I've heard that that trail comes up here somewhere. I'm not entirely sure on that. And then some of these ridges and cliffs and stuff, I think I know the name of, but I don't want to say it and be wrong. So I'm not going to mess with that. But they're really cool formations out here. Not going to get too close to the edge. It's pretty freaky. I'd say it's 100 feet maybe. I'm not real sure. Could be more. I'm not a good judge. I guess you see the top of the tree line and how much higher I am than that. Or you can look straight across to that thing over there and see how high I am, but it's pretty high. Either way, you get the gist of it. Pretty cool. This view is just too much. It's as good as it gets. At least in eastern Kentucky anyway. So one rock thing I do know, that right there is chimney rock, or chimney top rock. I don't know, kind of looks like a chimney. But that, you can actually see, if I can hold the dang camera still, there's a railing that goes around the top of it. That's a really popular like touristy area. And you can drive up and just kind of walk out this. I think it's only like a half mile or so. It's a really nice gravel trail, and even parts of it are paved. A lot easier to get to than where I'm at, and you get a similar view. So if you're not up for the however long of a hike that I did out here, you got that option. Pretty amazing view. Always make sure that your shoes are tied when you come out on something like this. All it takes is one trip, and then you're rolling, and then you're over the edge of that, and then we don't need to talk about what happens next. A lot of people have died out here. Not specifically here, but just in this entire area from stuff like that, or from just being stupid. I hate to talk bad about people that have met their demise, but you gotta respect nature, man, or woman, whoever's watching, because if you don't, it will not be respectful to you. So just be safe. Don't be stupid to get a cool picture. I'm not gonna do that, and you'll be happy. Like this smiley face right here. Not sure if this is Dungeons and Dragons or what. Also, don't do this. Why would you do that? It doesn't do anything, and that's going to be there for a while. So just don't. ZC. View out here is just like beyond what any kind of camera can capture. I don't know, I'm showing you me. I'm not any kind of view. There's the view. It's just amazing that stuff like this exists, and it's so close to home. It's pretty awesome. I'm not gonna lie though, I'm starting to get pretty cold. It's a little bit breezy up here. Temperature is dropping. Probably gonna head back up to the campsite get some more stuff ready, maybe get dinner going soon. I'd like to come out here in the morning, but I'm iffy about it because I don't want to come out on this if there's snow on this or ice on it. Not going to take that chance, as pretty as this is probably going to be. Depending on the way the roads are, I may drive over to Chimney Rock over there tomorrow and walk out there and maybe fly the drone around a little bit, just get a little bit of footage since I didn't bring it out here with me. Maybe. We'll see. See how the roads are, see how the snow is. I could be talking this up like there's like a massive blizzard coming and then nothing could happen at all. And I think it's only supposed to be a couple inches, so just a dusting, but we'll see how it goes in the morning, what time I get out of here and all that. So probably going to enjoy the view a little bit more and head back on up to the campsite. A little bit of a view what's out the other way. Still pretty cool, not quite as vast as over here, but still pretty cool. Enjoyed the view, but it's cold. I've been here before, and I'm gonna head back up to the campsite. Hansons Point, always suggested. If you can figure out how to get out here. I probably made it look a lot more difficult than it is. Hopefully these videos from the GoPro look okay. No, it's not the best for what it is, but I didn't want to bring my new point and shoot camera out here just because I was afraid of bringing it out in the elements. And also I'm still kind of learning how to use it, so this little guy and the phone, they get it done for now, for this trip. So one more time, Hansons Point. Pretty cool. I found the stuff sack for one of my pillows. Glad I found that. Alright, let's talk about some gear. So this is the Scandinavian Gear something pack. I don't know. Some cheap Amazon brand. I don't know. And yes, as a matter of fact, I did, oops, I missed, pack some wood out here. I know all of the weight junkies are going to lose their mind over that, but I had some at the house left over, and I knew this wasn't going to be an overly far hike, and sometimes you never know what you're going to have out here. I know up here is pretty high up, there's not water, so most of the wood's fine, but I had it. It's a quick hike, not a lot of climbing, not a ton of weight, a couple of pounds maybe. And I really want to have a fire tonight because it's getting cold. So moving on, this is the Kelty, what is this called? Slade 1. So actually belongs to my buddy Thomas. It's his solo tent. I didn't want to drag my two-person tent out here for the extra weight. I've used it a couple times. I will say, because of this high mesh, it doesn't breathe overly well, especially with the rain fly on. It's over there, I haven't put it on yet. But in this cold weather, it's going to trap heat a lot better. So I'm not going to complain about it right now. And then getting into here, this is the Sea to Summit Reactor, I think, fleece liner. It says it's supposed to add 30 degrees to your sleeping bag. I don't buy that, but it does add quite a bit. It's really comfy and soft and makes it a lot warmer. And then we got the Outdoor Vitals Summit 0 degree down sleeping bag. Awesome product, awesome company. This is my Nemo, what is this called? Cosmo? Nemo Cosmo sleeping pad, insulated. It's got a foot pump down there, so you have to blow into it. That's great. Really, really thick. Spent a lot of money on it. It's kind of heavy at 2 pounds, but it's a good trade-off because I'm a side sleeper. Don't sleep well on the little mats, and I sleep amazing on this thing. Absolutely worth the price and weight that it costs to get out here. And it's got like a, probably destroying this camera angle, but it's got a little bit of a pillow tip. Speaking of pillows, I got the Nemo pillow. I can't describe to you how amazing this thing feels. It blows up, stuffs into this little sack. You can stuff clothes in here to make it thicker, which I always do. And it's great. It's super comfortable. Highly suggest it. And then lastly is this other pillow, also by Outdoor Vitals. I got this a little while back, and it's great. You're probably thinking, why the heck do you need 2 pillows? And for one, I'm not going to crumble it up. This thing crumbles down like the size of my fist and weighs literally nothing. So it's I don't mind to throw it in there and take it. I'll use it as like a chest pillow and kind of lay on it, kind of like a small body pillow, or maybe I'll put it up underneath of there to make that sleeping bag thicker. I need to put some more air in it, or that pillow thicker, I mean. But whatever. Yeah, so that's pretty much it. The rain flies over there, I got to put that on still, but I'm not going to get into the nitty gritty stuff. I just kind of wanted to go over the big stuff. So yeah, that's a little bit of a gear rundown for this trip. Alright, so I got camp cleaned up a little bit, got the rain fly on, got all this stuff kind of centrally located. Because of the, you can fix that. This is what it looks like with the door open. Because of the potential snow coming, I'm going to try and keep everything either in the tent or under the rain fly tonight. So I got changed into thermals for the night. Going to try and get some firewood. Just a little bit more moving around to help me warm back up, because I took my jacket off for a minute and lost some heat. So we're going to do that, and then maybe looking to getting some dinner and a fire going. Alright, so we're starting to lose a little bit of daylight, as you can see. Kind of working on getting some of this firewood ready. And just like cutting it already, it smells so good. And I went and got a little bit of firewood, just some small stuff, just to, you know, get it started with. That helped warming up some. Walk back down that way. I didn't see my tripod thing yet, so hopefully I see that in the morning. A lot of times getting this stuff going is just getting it started, or getting it to cut is just getting it started. Like, this knife is dull as can be, but if I can just get it going across the top, it slides right through. Not too bad at all. I'm trying to get everything kind of ready beforehand, because it's nice to just, once your fire's going, just be able to throw it on there and just kind of enjoy it, rather than having to keep processing stuff once it's ready to go. I'll definitely say, like I was saying earlier while we were still hiking, that like, it's a whole nother world of like feeling lonely out here by yourself whenever you're videoing yourself to kind of talk to people that are going to hear it later on. It's weird because, you know, talking to a little box that, you know, it's a camera, I guess. I don't know. You ever seen that episode of The Office where Michael goes out into the wilderness, or at least so he thinks, and he brings the video camera, and like he keeps talking about fashioning stuff? That's what I feel like I'm doing right now. I fashioned this piece of wood that I can burn. Alright, so I got most of this wood pretty ready to go. That's what she said. So we'll be getting the fire going here in a second. Not really sure what to do right now, because I kind of like to save the firewood until it gets a little bit colder, and also kind of like it'd be nice to have the fire going while I eat my dinner. And I'm not overly hungry. I'm starting to get there. Not quite. All the chores are pretty much ready, good to go, and so I'm just kind of chilling. If you're still watching the video at this point, thanks for staying with it. Honestly, as of this moment while I'm recording this, I have no idea what this video is going to turn out to be. Maybe I'll cut it all together, or maybe I'll put some music to it, or just keep it raw, or maybe I'll just say forget it and not do anything with this whole project to begin with. I don't know, I guess I'll just kind of see what it turns out to be. Never done anything like this before. I've wanted to and started to, and just never gotten around to it, and it's been an adventure within the adventure. So maybe it'll go well, maybe not. If it gets 20 views, great. If it gets 2,000 views, great, and beyond. Not really worried about that. I'm just kind of out here to really just to enjoy this, and just to get out here and just kind of enjoy nature and being out here and just be with it. Kind of get some time to myself and just relax and just kind of be away from stuff in light of some not so fun recent events. Here's the firewood that I have fashioned. So on the menu for tonight, I wanted to keep it pretty simple. I wasn't going to try and cook anything. Got this backpacker's pantry. Jamaican style jerk, rice, and beans with chicken. The red flashing is the camera, by the way. And I'll just be totally upfront and open and vulnerable. The last time I had this meal, I had the worst farts of my freaking life. They smelled like death. And I figured, but I'll say this thing is delicious. Probably my favorite dehydrated meal I've ever had. And I figured, you know what? I'm by myself tonight. I don't have to worry about running Thomas out of the tent. So I'm just going to get it again, and I'm going to enjoy it. Looks like they got a pretty cool view. Looks like Bryce Canyon or something. Weird, but yeah, maybe I'll just kind of sit here in the silence for a little bit and maybe get this fire going in the next 30 minutes or so. We're not quite to fully nighttime yet, but I went ahead and got some water going over here. I just realized that this meal takes 15 minutes to cook in the water, so figured I'll get that going, just kind of chill, then maybe get the water going while it's cooking, or get the fire going while it's cooking. You probably can't see worth a crap right now. It's pretty much as dark as it's going to get out, and got the headlamp on. I know the GoPro does terrible in low light situations, at least this model does. This stove is like crapped out. It works, but like I can't get like a roaring flame with it, so my water is taking forever to boil for dinner. Got the fire ready to go. I just been kind of chilling here, listening to a podcast, just kind of relaxing. Try not to think about the fact that I'm alone right now. That's probably going to sink in at some point. Probably when I go into the tent and start hearing mice or whatever that sound like they're grizzly bears, because those totally exist around here. They don't. No, I'm good. I'm not really freaked out at all. Should be a good night. Really ready for this food to get cooking though. Always make sure when you make these things that you take this out. Well, I'm not going to burn that just to be safe. I'm sure it's fine, but yeah. Water's finally starting to pick up a little bit. The flame kicked or something. So we'll be rolling. Got the water in. That's cooking. It's going to be about 20 minutes before it's ready though. So seems like it's about time to get a fire going. Since my tripod fell apart, oh, it's over here. Probably not gonna film any of that because I kind of need both of my hands to kind of get this thing going comfortably. I don't want to screw it up and burn up some wood, but without getting the fire going good. So hopefully next time I'm videoing, have a nice warm fire to sit here by. Alright, so the fire is rolling. It's rolling good. Here's the tent. A little bit better look at the campsite here. Alright, looks good. My dinner will be ready in about 15 minutes. I'm going to put this thing down and go sit by this fire. One thing that's slightly concerning is I just realized I don't have like a ton of water left. Kind of threw about 2/3 of it. But this thing uses like a ton of water. It's like 2.5 cups or something. Normally these kind of deals don't use quite that much, and I noticed a lot when I use a water pack, like with the straw and all that. I just kind of subconsciously sip on it as I'm hiking, even if I don't really need to rehydrate, which is kind of dangerous, but I'm not worried at all. It's definitely plenty of water to get out of here. I did decide to cut out my tea for the night. I'd rather have coffee in the morning than have to have or than messing with tea at nighttime, so that's kind of a bummer. No big deal. Yeah, that's definitely enough water. I'm not even remotely worried about it. Just can't be quite as carefree with it, you know. Fire is good, especially in the cold. Not that the hike out here was bad at all, because it wasn't. Very easy, even with trying to deal with the camera, but the times whenever you're out hiking and you're just like dog tired and you still have like miles to go, you're sweaty, or your pack is like crazy heavy, it's moments like this where it's just like, okay, this is worth it. Like, I'm not cold at all, and it's like probably in the 20s right now, and it feels wonderful. Got a delicious dinner cooking. I'm gonna be warm tonight. For some reason I have cell service, really good cell service. So if all else fails, I'll pull up something on Netflix or something on my phone. I really don't want to do that. But if I just can't sleep, but whatever else, you know. This, you can't capture this on camera, and I can't put it into words what this is like right now. It's just awesome. You're probably thinking like something along the lines of, what kind of idiot goes out into the woods by themselves knowing that there is a winter storm coming in literally overnight and into the morning while I'm out here? And that's a very valid question, if I'm being honest. And honestly, I don't know the answer, other than just that me, I guess. I don't know. I like the adventure. I like the challenge. Ooh, Halo. I love to be out here. Like I said a minute ago, just like moments like this, like when you're just by a fire and like just knowing that you have shelter and warmth, and the snowstorm is coming and that you're going to be okay. It's just, I don't know, something about that has always intrigued me. It's pretty rad, but yeah, like I said, I've always wanted to experience like snow, like in the woods, like on the trail, and just, if this does happen, just like the thought of like waking up in the morning and opening up the tent and like looking out and seeing just like a nice little dusting of snow on the ground, I think it's going to be really pretty, really cool. Just the solitude and being out here alone, like, that's really cool. So, I don't know. Most people think I'm crazy for doing stuff like this. Or most people think that people that do stuff like this are crazy, but hey, people do crazy stuff that I don't get all the time, so. And they're still doing it. And they're still happy, so. So with that said, I think my dinner should be about ready. Let's have a little look. I took a little test a minute ago and still a little soupy. Let's see. Oh yeah. Don't think this is the correct amount of water. It still tastes good. Like, it's not like watered down, but I feel like it was a little too much water. I think it said 2 1/4 cups. Maybe 2 probably would have been good. So I don't like it really soupy, but let's have a taste. Ooh, wow. That's good. So I'm almost done eating dinner. It's very good. I kind of flew through it. Kind of couldn't stop. There's a little bit left. I'm kind of letting it simmer a little bit before I finish it off. Fire kind of died down, as expected. Really wanted to save the majority of this wood for kind of that point where I'm done with dinner. Everything's put up for the night, and all I have to do is sit by the fire and then climb in bed here in a little bit. So, just kind of finishing up dinner. So good. This might be like my favorite one. I know the Mountain House beef stroganoff one is like to die for too. But man, that's good stuff. Good job, Backpacker Pantry. I'm realizing that my feet are starting to get kind of cold. I'm not really ready to transition into boots and camp shoes yet though. So we'll see what to do about that. I have some hot hands that I have heating up in my pocket right now. I'm probably going to put between my layers of socks tonight. So that'll be nice. Probably can't even see me, this headlamp and the smoke in my breath. Not smoking, I promise. So dinner's over. Time for a little bit of dessert. I just got these from the gas station earlier. Hopefully they don't crunch again like they did in the car earlier. Fire's kind of died out, but we'll fix that here in a little bit. So I was just sitting here, and I got my fire all kind of built up. Not like burning, just I got the wood stacked for whenever I get cleaned up and all the stuff put away. And then it just kind of kicked up on its own, and I was burning before I was kind of ready for it to, but I don't really mind that much. I got plenty of wood, and I'm getting cold. So, yeah, there's a unexpected fire. All right. Got 2 pairs of socks on now, and there's little hot hands packets in each one. So, trying to get my feet warmed up a little bit. Seems to be the thing I always have trouble keeping warm. the sleeping bag at nighttime. Got the everything kind of cleaned up for the night. All that's out here is my sit pad, the tent, a couple other things just hanging around. I found out that I have, I don't know why it's not focusing. I actually brought 2 little things of toilet paper. Found left over from the last trip. It's always good. But yeah, probably gonna sit here, build the fire back up, and probably put the camera up for the night because I just kind of want to relax at this point and not worry about it anymore. So I'll check back in here in the tent in a little bit. So I don't know why it's not focusing, but here we go. Just look at that. It's beautiful. It's about, I'm not really sure. I need to get a thermometer. I would guess it's probably in the 20s right now. High 20s, probably low 30s. So it's getting chilly, not terribly cold. So, all right, I'll check back in. All right, got the fire going all good again. Found this stick that looks like a, kind of like a hammer or an axe, but also like a bird's head or something. I don't know. All right, so I'm in the tent for the night, close to being all situated. Been sitting kind of out by the fire for the last, probably 2 hours or so. Warm and cozy. Man, I'm out of breath, like just trying to get situated between trying to get the boots off and using a liner is great. It's comfortable, it's warm, but it's it makes it even harder to get in and out of your sleeping bag. So, man, I really hope I don't have to pee in the middle of the night. That would be the worst. It always is. So I'm gonna just kind of lay here, listen to a podcast or something, maybe watch something if I can't sleep, but I'm feeling pretty tired, so it's been a good night. Hopefully we'll wake up in the morning and open up the tent here and have some snow to look at. We'll see what happens. So thanks for watching so far, and good night, everybody. Just got kind of settled here. Got to tuck my arms in, and we'll be in for the night. Just gonna go ahead and point out that thing that I said earlier about the dehydrated meal is 100% true. So I'll be struggling with that all night, but what do you do? It's about what time is it? 8:30 probably, 9 o'clock. Pretty tired, so probably just chill. Good night, everybody. All right, it's about 5:45 right now. I've been awake for a little bit, just kind of laying here. I woke up, and thank God I don't have to like pee or anything, but I just kind of woke up and been laying here, and it's definitely snowing. I can hear it kind of hitting the tent. You might not be able to hear it on the video. You hear that? I don't know. So I'm definitely warm as can be. I slept great so far. I'm trying to go back to sleep just to burn some time off, but we'll see. Went to bed so early, so I guess we'll see what this snow looks like. See what the snow looks like in a little bit. Alright, so it's a little after 7 now, and now that I can start to see the sun coming up, I figured it'd be a good time to go ahead and kind of get moving. So we'll open up the tent, and I do see snow on the ground, as a matter of fact. Let's see what we got here. Man, if that would have happened in the middle of the night, put the phone down for a second. Snow would have started sliding off in the middle of the night. That would have scared the crap out of me. Oh, this isn't good. I'm stuck. There we go. Alright, it's the big reveal of what we've got on here. Would you look at that? Oh, wow. That's a good, like 5 inches of snow. Nice. So I'm going to put the camera back away and kind of get my boots on and brace myself for this.
I'm out of the tent now. Talk about an ordeal between like trying to get out of my sleeping bag and liner and get out of the tent and stuff, but definitely got the snow. I stayed perfectly warm all night in my sleeping bag, so that was nice. Didn't get freaked out or anything. That was cool. Sometimes I go solo camping, I get the jitters. These footprints are mine. I've been walking around in circles trying to warm up. There's been no one come through here at least because there's no tracks. I'd like to get onto the ridge, but I haven't decided if I'm going to or not yet. I might like walk down there and just kind of peek onto it and kind of see it from here. It looks like there is snow on it. And like I said, I'm sure the view is cool, but I'm not taking my chances with that. So there's a couple spots on the way back that you can still kind of see the view. I may stop and check out, but not worth the risk. I attempted to make a little fire. It's not much. I just thought it'd be nice to kind of warm my hands up and have something to sit by and warm up while I drink my coffee. Snow everywhere. So the fire was not very successful, which is not surprising. But at least I got coffee going, and it smells phenomenal. And then I didn't think to bring something to eat the oatmeal in. I've heard people say you can like pour water into there. We'll try that. If it doesn't work, then I'll just drink the coffee and eat it out of the cup. So this does actually work, which is awesome because having to deal with any kind of dish is like super annoying. I'm done with breakfast and coffee. The fire was non-existent. It's no surprise. I wasn't really counting on that or even really planning on it. I just kind of figured I'd do something while my water's heating up. Kind of dreading breaking camp. It's always kind of a pain, especially by yourself, but it's not going to do itself, so I better get to that. Since I have full service up here, I got a notification from my weather app that there's going to be snow starting up in about 20 minutes or so. So probably want to get packed up and get on the trail before that happens at least, and then the hike out of here should be awesome. The drive out of here is a little concerning. Let's see how that goes, but it's not too terrible of curvy winding roads to get out to this trailhead. So once I'm on the mountain parkway, it should be home free from there. So yep, so camp is finally taken down. It always takes way longer than it should for me for some reason. I don't know why. Ready to go. I think I decided I am gonna go at least down to the ridge and then maybe check it out and see how sketchy it'd be to go out on it. I think it's at least worth trying. I'm not gonna be too risky with it, but we'll see what's up. Okay, so I did go ahead and walk down here back to Hansons Point. Not sketchy at all, very easy. I'm not gonna go out that way anymore though, because just past those trees, there's a little stretch where it's a little bit steep, where it's usually fine, but I don't trust it in wet snow, so I'm just gonna stick to right here. Still pretty much get the view, so pretty freaking cool. Alright, so I'm heading back up to grab my pack and get out of here. I did notice these little footprints right here. I don't know what they are. I have no idea. Looks like they went out to this thing and jumped or something, I don't know. But they're kind of covered up, so I'm assuming whatever it was here, kind of in the middle of the snow, but guess I wasn't totally alone out here last night. All packed up. I'm back up from Hansons Point. Just taking a little breather before I get out here. That trip up the hill, it's a tough one, but it definitely got me warmed up, so that's nice. So when you wake up in the morning, you're camping in the winter, put your jacket on or whatever, and just go move around, maybe jog around a little bit, find a hill to walk up. You warm up real quick. So just kind of taking a few last moments here, making sure I'm not leaving anything. I'll be packing out of here. We got camp all packed up. Everything's all set. I don't see anything laying around. Get buckled up and let's get out of here. Let's go.
So one thing I'm already noticing, and I definitely called this yesterday, is that walking through this thicket here, the snow is like falling off these branches, and it's like going down the back of my neck, which is not pleasant at all. You can kind of see what I'm walking through here. Looks super neat with all the snow on it, but it sucks when it's going down your shirt. I'm hoping I find that leg of my tripod that fell off. There's a little more snow on the ground than I kind of thought there would be. I thought that the branches would keep it off. The crappy thing is that the last time I used it was right before I got to the stick part. So I know it's in this stuff somewhere. So we'll see what happens. It's a cheap one. I'm sure I can get another one, but a duo pod, I guess is what you would call that, doesn't do a lot of good. Alright, so we're back now at one of these spots where there's like a million places to camp. Looks really cool, all covered in snow. No sign of the tripod, but I guess I didn't think about the fact that through these big open areas I kind of wandered around a little bit, not necessarily just on the path, so it could be anywhere. I'm not going to worry too much about it. One thing is my pack is so much lighter now without that wood. Not a ton of water left, and the food I brought out is gone, but that didn't really weigh much, so very nice that my pack is so much lighter. One of the things I remember my uncle that I talked about yesterday saying when he did a solo trip out here in the winter in the snow is that when he was walking, I don't remember if it was hiking in or hiking out, there not being any footprints. And just like how cool that was to know that you're the only person out here. And I'm definitely seeing that now because there's nothing other than what I left behind me. And then a few like small animal things. So that's pretty cool just to know, just to like know for sure that I was out here all alone last night. Pretty cool. I'm officially out of the thicket stuff and back on the main trail here, which is both good news and bad news. The bad news is that I never found the tripod leg, and I'm pretty sure like right here yesterday was where the last place I used it, possibly a little ways up the trail. So that's probably gone. But the good news is I'm out of that crap and don't have stuff hitting me in the face, and also snow falling down the back of my shirt, running down my neck anymore. That was getting really annoying. So we're out of that and have about 2 miles, I guess, back to the car. The hike's been great so far. This temperature is really nice. I'm not getting too hot in my down jacket yet, but we'll see what happens with that. So yeah, onward we go. So I did just finally pass the first hiker I've seen out here since I saw some people on the road yesterday. So that was kind of cool. Had a really cool dog with him. So not alone out here anymore. I think he's heading out actually to the spot that I was just at, out to Hansons Point. So best of luck to them. Just working our way back. This is one of the only climbs for the most part this whole way back. I know there's a big one yesterday, kind of like on a rocky area. I don't remember if I filmed on it or not, but I'll try to get some footage on it on the way back. So got back to that climbing spot I was at yesterday. Looks pretty cool, covered in snow. So we got about a mile or so, maybe a little more, plus that extra walk to the car on the road there. So making good progress. I slowed down with the filming a little bit just because I'm trying to make some better time, and also starting to run low on battery on the GoPro, and my phone is running out of space. So we've reached that uphill part, the rocky part I was talking about. It's just kind of a climb up there, and then it's pretty much flat back to the car for the most part, so not bad at all. I made it back to the road here. Here's the trail, and then just another 3/4 of a mile or so back down this way, back to the car, and we'll be out of here. I'm hoping I didn't get like a parking ticket or something for parking on the side of the road there. Fingers crossed, but yeah, just a little walk down the road and we'll be out of here. This is where we started yesterday. There's actually a dog over there through the trees. I don't know if his owner's over there or what, but yep, I hear people. So went ahead and walked down the road this time. It was actually a lot quicker than going down the trail, so got the best of both worlds. Just some, like, I guess, final thoughts on just the trip in general, and kind of hiking and camping alone out here in the dead of winter. It was honestly, it was great. Wasn't cold at all. Really comfortable night. One of the best nights of sleep I've ever had on the trail. Slept all the way through until this morning when I woke up, so that was cool. As far as like being freaked out or getting scared or whatever, that really didn't happen this time. It's kind of the first time I've solo camped without getting just like a little bit of the jitters. Not like, you know, terrified, but just kind of like you hear noises and it freaks you out or whatever. So none of that this time. It's great the whole way. I know I listened to some podcasts just kind of at camp while I'm hiking. That really helped, and also talking to the viewers, talking to the camera, that helped a lot too, not feeling like alone out here. So overall, great experience. I had nothing negative to say. Everything was great, so just hiking back to the car now, and we'll be out of here. Whoa, what kind of track is that? Honestly, I have no idea. Someone probably does, but I do not. I'm just gonna say it's a dog and just pretend that bears don't exist. So I keep seeing more of these like sketchy looking footprints that I saw. And one thing I'm noticing about them is that they go across the road and not down the road. And they're not going like the same direction as like the human footprints I'm seeing. So whatever it is, it's gotta be something wild that's not walking along with any humans. I have seen a couple dogs, but and they're big and have claws on them. You can see the claw marks in the snow. So I don't know what that is, but it didn't eat me or eat my food. So thumbs up for that. Almost back to the bridge now. So I made it back to the bridge. See the mountain parkway right here. It's kind of a cool view. The car's just right up here on the corner. Hoping and praying that it starts. It should. And also hoping that I don't have any kind of parking ticket. I just passed some other people that were hiking in and saying they didn't look like any of the cars up here had any, so good stuff. All right, so I made it back to the car, almost, if I don't slip and fall here. And I guess that is gonna be a wrap on this trip. Now for the most dangerous part about this is driving on these roads. They don't look like they're bad at all, so nice. All right, so I'm back in the car. My car is running. I have no speeding ticket, or no parking ticket. And I'm ready to get out of here, find some lunch. Pretty hungry. So thanks for watching. I hope you guys have enjoyed this as much as I've enjoyed making it. And we'll see what this turns into.